Hi everybody, it's Paul again. Happy gobble 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 day to this Thursday. I know you're gonna love it. I know it's gonna be great. Overeat like a slob. What the hell, we can wait. It doesn't make any difference, but you gotta enjoy yourself. Life is a banquet. Partake in it yourself. Hey guys, how are you? It is your manservant Paul, and sometimes professional YouTube host for Living Happily Gay. Happy Monday to you. Happy mundane, happy miserable, happy manic Monday. Oh, I can't use that lyric because we certainly have tried before. But it's time to get back to basics. It's our first cool front of the season has started to show its face here in southern Florida. Well, this is just such a weird area. The first few fronts, because it's hard to get rid of this heavy, wet, tropical air that's been over us for 10 months. So the first few fronts that come through, unless they're really super powerful from way up in the Arctic, we seem them usually just die out here because there's so much heat and humidity pressing against it. It doesn't stand a chance. So that's kind of our saving grace for avoiding any early season dangerous cold waves. You just don't get them here. And I guess it was around Christmas time that we start worrying. I remember in 1989, of course, all of you who are from here, if you were in here in 1989, you know what a weird Christmas that was. I think we had a front that brought us down to 30 degrees, 29 degrees, something like that. Anyway, heating your home costs more money here than cooling your home. I don't know, for some reason, I guess the electric heat pumps that they put in with the air conditioner, it's kind of an afterthought. You don't really benefit from a heat pump unless you live in a California climate or Seattle or someplace like that. It's just too much of a workload for them. And if we get below 50 degrees, and people here, of course, get shocked when it's below 50, everybody's bringing out the parkas, and they're all out of date because they've had them for 30 years. But why buy another one? Because you're only going to use it once or twice a season, or maybe once or twice every 3 years, 4 years, 5. I don't think I wore even a sweater last season. I think the low we got down to was 46. That's horrible. But hey, it's great for our plants. I'm having a ball tending my tropical plants that I would grow in Panama. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you have tuned into Brad and my pet lifetime project that we're working on in the República de Panama. We've got a project called tropicriverwoods.com. It's about 50 acres of rolling, hilly to somewhat steeply graded ex-farmland in the Bocas del Toro region of Panama, and it really is I fell in love with the area. It's almost in Costa Rica. It's on the Caribbean coast. The biggest town in the province of Bocas del Toro is its provincial capital, or state capital, the equivalent would be Changanola. And I loved it from the first time I saw it. It's kind of like Hooterville, remember from Green Acres? It works. It's a little bit forgotten by everybody. It's 150 miles, I guess, northwest from Panama City, and they really didn't care much about Bocas del Toro until it got trendy with the hip backpackers and the European restless wanderers, and they found this wonderful coral reef with the most gorgeous emerald waters between each island, among all the islands. And the biggest town is Bocas Town, which is on the island of Colón, and that's the tourist mecca for the region. And I like it a lot. It's kind of like the Florida Keys might have been probably in the 40s. But it's very nice. There's some really good restaurants, surprisingly so. There's a new casino they've been tripled in size since we've been going there. It used to be called the Money Casino. I think it's called Lady Luck now. And I've never won a penny there, but it's just nice. Everybody's pretty well dressed up like in Vegas attire. And I had to have the land, so I bought it basically with just a recommendation of a semi-unscrupulous realtor slash guide slash Caribbean huckster, Richie Taylor. He was dressed in gold all over his body. Very obviously, he had worked well with a lot of the Americans and the Europeans who who fell for his charms. He had it all mapped out for me. But anyway, yeah, we bought this acreage, and it was used as a dumping ground for highway construction that went through our area down in Panama. And I had come about with this line of thinking because I was really tired of dealing with hurricanes in Florida. And as a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, or last week, I don't know, it was specifically, Adam the Woo had a really moving log on Hurricane Irma and why he doesn't go to Florida to stay with his parents who live in Central Florida. He's freaked out by them, and he lived 25 years in Florida, which I had not realized until he mentioned it today. And he talked about the trauma that you go through because you don't know where these things are going to land. You don't know how powerful they're going to be. They only extrapolate that vaguely, but it's an inexact science even to this day. They really don't know the individual band's wind strength until it's actually over the area that it goes over. Now, generally speaking, in a hurricane or tropical cyclone in Australia, same thing, or typhoon in Japan, China, they have recorded that normally the strongest winds that are most tightly wrapped around the so-called eye, which is an area of calm in this warm core weather system that could, an eye can be 5 miles across, it could be 30 or 40 miles across. With Irma, the eye was about 75 miles across, basically covering the whole lower peninsula of Florida. That's why we got clocked pretty good, as the Keys did worse. But we had a pretty good, it cost us a little bit. Let's put it this way, it's going to be a cheaper Christmas this year because of Irma. But yeah, he really gave a good presentation. Check out his vlog. I think it was from a couple of days before Irma was going to hit us. And I hadn't watched it till today, so it was a chilling surprise to me. I also didn't realize Adam was going to announce that his Adam the Woo vlog was going to be ending one day last week, and I guess that was his final show. And Adam, thank you for doing what you do. I can't say enough for someone who had been that motivated and that entertaining over 5 years to do a daily vlog. I mean, everybody says they're going to do that, and guys like Philip DeFranco, they do what they say they're going to do. And I guess Chris Thompson, of the guys I watch, I know there's probably so many, and I apologize if I'm leaving you out, but I mean, it's a Herculean attempt to keep people posted on how your life is going or how you view life that day. What's your pet peeves, what's your joys, what's your concerns, what's your feelings? Are you exhausted? And he was. And how did you how do you get motivated to do this every day? I love it, and as does he, as does any YouTuber who really does make an attempt to stay with this program, because I know that I am very concerned at times that we're just not going anywhere, and we've reached plateaus, and now we're stuck again. And I don't think that my base is wide enough to carry this channel onward and upward to the stratosphere, so to speak, because it doesn't have that much pull yet in search engines. And just the gay community in the United States, I don't think very many guys that are YouTubers want to check out this channel, or do check out this channel, or know about this channel. This might be, something they'd love. And I thank Brandon Blinn for being the first person of stature in our country that allowed us to be linked to his channel. And I do appreciate that, Brandon. Thank you so much. I love what you do, and I really have admired you, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to be with you in TV land. Because YouTube is an entity that needs to be definitely reckoned with by the networks, because I have a feeling that this is going to be the way to go for the foreseeable future, and it wouldn't be likely that Facebook would have even considered doing a TV format thing if it wasn't for the success of YouTube over the years. And it's, I guess now, 13, 14, 15 years that YouTube has been around. I dismissed it as being something unimportant. I should be brickbatted with the worst stoning that any Indian father could ever give his promiscuous daughter for ever having sex with a person that you never had cleared with the family. And sorry, right? That was just a horrible imitation. But here's the deal. So I just wanted to reach out to everyone and let them know that, people that have gone the route before and have done well with this program, I am still fascinated with how they've done it, because it ain't easy. Until you do it, you don't know. And it's not always easy to be up for another edition when you have had 2 weeks of downs. Like I've slip. Not horribly, but it still makes you feel bad. And then you start to say, oh my God, what have I done? I pissed my viewers off, and they don't find this format interesting anymore. And I couldn't live with that. That's how much we YouTubers love what we do. So, and Brad is getting into the program too. I mean, he's just so straddled with a really crummy environment in the real estate business in southern Florida. And he's doing very well, and he's hating every minute of it lately. And I don't blame him, because he puts out so much effort, and everybody looks to knock you down. And they know what they're doing, and it's attorneys dominate for this, closings of real estate legal documents. Although he is a paralegal registered in the state of Florida and licensed by all the property insurers, can hold his head high among everyone in our marketplace. But it still hurts when they kick him down sometimes. And I think that's probably, it inhibits his ability to be as jovial as I am, and sometimes he gets a little upset with me, because I have a tendency to be too lighthearted with certain subject materials, but I'm devoted to everything I talk about. And if I do kind of screw up a little bit, and maybe just don't put the level of import that it might demand, I could be pissing people off. But you know what? This is where we should come for our relaxation. And we can talk tough topics, but we should also be able, I think, to lighten up a little bit. It's not the end of the world. It probably won't be with all these things going on, unless exactly that does happen, where somebody just decides to be stupid and starts bombing, i.e. Senor Kim in North Korea. I don't know why he's so pissed off. I kind of feel I know some of the reasons, but we're going to be right back in a minute. Hang on. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, by the way. I know it's upcoming, and I think that we're all looking for this holiday, and I'm not thinking of Black Friday. I think it's ridiculous, and I really think it's ruined the Thanksgiving dinner, because if everybody's circling the items that they want to hit at the shopping center, or the whatever, the appliance store, the stereo video store, or whatever, that they've got as ridiculous doorbusters for the day after Thanksgiving. And how could you digest a dinner that has usually over 3,500 calories with all the accoutrements? And that's probably not having that second slice of pumpkin, apple, or sweet potato pie, or pecan pie. It's ridiculous. So, you know, and I know that this country's floundering a little bit, and the Western world depends on the U.S. to be very much the leader in economic growth. I think they trust us a little more to do it than China, because certainly China's more aggressive, and they've got some good shit that they're producing and that we're buying wholeheartedly. But you know, we've been in the capitalistic, imperialistic, capitalist running dog game for the longest period of time post World War II. And we even have Queen Elizabeth marveling at what they do here. You know, she gives lip service to having Canada still be in the Commonwealth, but she still loves her United States. Des États-Unis. I don't know. And we even have in Montreal, of course, one of the best hotels on Sherbrooke is the Queen Elizabeth Hotel. Has she stayed there in a while? I don't think so, but I do. But anyway, I just wanted to just get some things off my chest. But that's my thing right now. So I have my concerns. Brad is feeling his birthday a little more than he felt it the day of his birthday. We went up to his mom's house and spent time with her in her senior citizen community, i.e. preeminent South Florida senior citizen community, John Knox Village in Pompano Beach, Florida. And I hadn't seen his mom since Mother's Day. That's it's a while. We don't go up there because he's working late and I'm too tired. I usually feel lousy because of the back now. And I didn't really feel that great going up there yesterday. I was just weird. I don't know. I just had some kind of a weird feeling about this encounter, and I don't even know why I felt that way, but I did. And his mom, belying the fact that this is a woman who's in her early 80s, I think it's 83, she looked pretty damn good for her age until now. She reported to us that she's fallen a couple of times. One time she was on the floor for a number of hours. That freaked me out because I fall a lot. I have a problem with my equilibrium since my auto accident when the airbag hit my ear, bashed in my ear canal, and so it was shattered in my inner ear, so I can't hear out of this ear. So at future VidCons, don't talk to me on my left side. I probably won't hear you. Man, just look at me or sneak up on my right side, give me a peck on the cheek. Well, you can still me a peck on the left cheek too, or that one also. Anyway, I said to Brad before we went to sleep, and I couldn't go to sleep so well either because of the festivities of the day. It just wasn't the same. I hadn't seen her community, which was really a garden showplace, until now. And post Irma, she didn't tell us when we talked to her on the phone it looked as lousy as it does. But it's definitely in recovery mode. I mean, there's half of all the trees that face east that have no fronds on it, and it doesn't look so good. Some of the broadleaf evergreen trees were just snapped at some of the really beautiful, ornamentally important trunk features that they had, and they don't have it now, and it's going to just have a lot of suckers coming out of the stem. It won't look so good. We've got that here, but we don't. This is not a public showplace, so it doesn't really matter as much. But yeah, aging is there, and I did not feel a part of that community other than as a visitor, because I'm still 15 inside. And maybe that's why I stay the way I do, because I really don't look at things as an adult. And I don't know if that's ridiculous or not. I just don't want to do it. And I think that gets me through the day better when I'm the big kid. Oh, and I think it pisses a lot of people off because I do things that you're not supposed to do at this late middle age. But I don't care because it makes me still have a verve for life. In New Orleans, the laissez les beaux temps rouler, let the good times roll. You can't do that if you're feeling like you're going to die. And I do know now how important that is, that inner child has to be able to reemerge from time to time. I guess it gets harder to imagine getting up for the next day when you're hurting as much, or you lose people in your life, or you feel that there's not that time anymore to call on your best buds and really have heart-to-hearts and shoot the shit or whatever else that you do with your best buds. But then they're gone, and you don't. When you're older, it's hard to reassemble that with someone else because you're in a different state of your lives. You're busy. When you met your best bud, you probably were both unfettered by family, a career. You might have been in college. You might have been just still working at Big Macs or whatever, Ray Kroc's. Yeah. And I don't know if it's as conceivable. Everybody's so sophisticated when you meet them as an adult at a cocktail party that you talk about how your money growth funds are doing at Shrubs or TD Ameritrade, which I have my money in and is not doing much of anything. And how are your kids doing? Is your son a doctor yet? I understand that he showed a promise as a physician for future days. And I guess that's something that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I don't relate to those conversations because they're basically not from the heart. And if you feign excitement when you hear news about how somebody's economic success is doing, it's kind of cheesy, because we're not going to take the money with us. I mean, you want to say that your life was productive so that you were able to say, hey, I had a good run here, and I guess I have accomplished something. But what's so telling is the fact that you, generally speaking, when you reach these pinnacles of economic success and you can strut around and be a big man on campus, so to speak, in your community or at the Rotary, it's about time that your plug gets pulled. And that's just the way it goes. I think that's what life is. This is our educational training ground for something that is very enticing. You really do get into the whole successful person, human being kind of thing. So you have notoriety among your peers who also are going to go too. And then, you just kind of have little excuse me, little lapses back and forth from, saying, gee, I could never see giving all this up. Look at what I've got. Now I'm going to be dead. I don't know how I feel about that. And I guess the thing is what I'm thinking is basically, I think we're going to something better anyway, so that shouldn't really foretell something that we would dread. It sounds good when a minister or rabbi or priest says it at services, but you say, yeah, I want to prepare myself or live a good life so that I'm ready when I'm judged by those that have gone before me, and could really tell the tale of what I am as either a good dude or a son of a bitch, because really there's nobody to hide from then. All the subjective parameters that we use on earth, where you can kind of gloss over things that are semi-truthful or not, or you're just you're a good actor or salesman. You convince people well of your image, But hey, that gets stripped when they put the shroud on you, tuck you into the refrigerator, and get you ready for your family to see you, so you don't look really tacky. And I still wanted to go standing up or sitting up in a chair with my legs crossed. Kind of gay, but sophisticated. Maybe even with a pipe, with some kind of electronic way to make me puff on the pipe, so that will really freak people out. But I thought that would be kind of neat. I don't know. Why not have fun, for God's sakes? You know, don't play church music. Play your favorite records that you grew up on and loved and wore out the grooves. When you can have it at MP4s and do a real fun service. Make it like a wedding party. You know, have dancing. Why not? Why not? Why the freak not? So, you know, my words go laughed at times, and I'm not so surprised, because why not? You know, it's people really do prefer white bread as opposed to pumpernickel. And I like pumpernickel with seeds. That's even more of a small niche. So, but yeah, you can depend on me to be unconventional and say, what the freak is this guy talking about? I think I can't tell you what's not true, and my heart says it's true, and I would not be here if it wasn't for that. Yeah. Anyway, I just want to leave you with a few things. I have not talked about any newsworthy things, but I did get this from our buddies at Queerty on the email today, and this critiques a book, Bro Jobs. It basically, and you should buy this book. I don't get anything on it, but you should buy this book. I found it absorbing, and look at Queerty.com, because it's today. They've got a link to this. The article appeared, I think, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe more than that, but I haven't followed it, and I clicked on the link, and this came up from, I guess, an interview with the author. And Bro Jobs talks about the probability that straight, gay, bi, omni, nether, asexual, whatever, there's homosexual tendencies in the male, point blank, almost everyone. And you know, it's a society that is this inherently repressive that we've got in this country, and England has, and probably Scotland and Wales and New Zealand. I don't know about the Aussies, and I think Sydney's pretty cool, actually. But it makes sense to me. I mean, I think that as a human being, you like to feel good, and you like to feel a stimuli that somebody could relate to. So why wouldn't another guy with a guy, or another woman with another woman, know what makes them feel the best? I think it's very difficult for the opposite sex to target right on from the very beginning where your pleasure zones are, because I don't think the other guy's pleasure zones are going to be that different from yours. And you know, our G-spot is a different G-spot than the G-spot in women, but a woman would know that when she pleasures herself, and a man would know that when he pleasures himself. So homosexual contact should be part of growing up, I would think. But if you have a fucked up American Wonder Bread background, you're probably going to know that your church finds it reprehensible, and God's not going to love you because you're thinking something that nobody else is thinking. I know I'm the only one who's thinking this, and I got to keep it quiet because it's dangerous. Well, I don't think that's any probability. I think it's pretty ridiculous. We range to all kinds of feelings. So feel good, guys. I love you. I'll be back a little bit later this week, probably. Oh, we're going to New Orleans for Thanksgiving. So we're going to be with some friends. We'll talk about that when we get back. Brad will be with me here. Be good to yourself. It's the only you know. Love ya.